Pebuu.
By names of John Paul Semialo. Most of you know me as JP, and I'm the Chief Executive and Founder of Pebuu Africa. Very happy to be here, very happy to tell our story. We recently celebrated 10 years. What a remarkable journey for Pebuu, and our story is quite interesting. Join me in taking you through the story. Personally, my background is in the creative world. So seeing my journey into the technology, most especially financial technology space, is quite interesting. Pebuu started in 2015 at the early stages of payments in Uganda. I traveled to South Africa for a conference where I met a few friends of mine. As I was moving through this exhibition at a conference, I landed on a farm that was selling POS machines. I saw this particular POS machine and I picked a lot of interest in it. I asked his exhibitor about what the POS machine could do. She quickly told me about the ability of the POS machine being able to enable payments, utilities, insurance, mobile money, etc. And now, thinking about what was going on at home, I looked at this as an opportunity. So I quickly bought a sample, came back with it home, and now the new challenge was seeing how I would get that POS machine to be integrated with the different payment options we had at the time. I spoke to a friend of mine called Ivan, who was at the time in Sweden, about this new venture I wanted to go in, and Ivan told me he could do the software. We reached an agreement where Ivan was to develop the software, manage it, support it, and mine was to do the business development and investment. When I went to South Africa, I came with this POS machine after setting it up with Ivan, and we're testing some of the initial transactions. I remember the first transaction was an MTN airtime transaction of 1,000 shillings. So when I put in the amount and the phone number, which was my number, the amount, the phone number, selected the telecom, the receipt printed, I remember I screamed. Just before I received an SMS notification of, hey, you received X amount of airtime, the machine made a noise. Pebuu! I was like, wow, it actually makes a sound. So later I received a message. Then I tried buying Ivan airtime of 500 shillings. He received it. The machine made the same sound. I was like, wow, where else should we get the name for this company? Let's call it Pebuu. We walked that journey with Ivan and we got so many partners. MTN came on board, Uganda National Water came on board, Uganda Revenue Authority came on board, insurance companies came on board, and we invested in POS machines. We grew our network to 2,400 agents across the country. That was crazy. I remember piqued the attention of banks like Stanbic, who later on took on our escrow account. And yeah, business was growing so fast. Of course, we neglected certain things which we were not good at, like system audits and all that. So I remember just before COVID being hit and lost a lot of money through the system that ended up affecting our cash flows, and we never recovered from that. During COVID and the first year post-COVID, we had almost gone bankrupt. We couldn't pay our staff, we could not pay our rent, we couldn't pay any of our overheads. And It was quite a challenging time. With all these debts in a business, with this huge network we couldn't support, we had to reinvent ourselves. What I did was to look for a long-time friend of mine who I had not seen in a very long time, and that's Leonard, who is my partner currently, and talk to him about what we could do for Pebuu. So at the time we were thinking of either morphing into a betting company or becoming an e-lending platform, or becoming an e-training platform in support of financial inclusion. Like, there were so many options at the time. So I engaged Leonard. Leonard had just come back from the US, and we had sleepless nights. We kept on cracking our heads to see how we could revamp Pebuu to its former glory, but this time even better. At that time, banks were losing money through their agent networks. And every day you open the newspaper, either a Kenyan bank, the Ugandan bank, or a Nigerian bank, Zimbabwean bank, they had lost money through either their online platforms or through agents, through their branches. So we looked at this and thought of a solution. Leonard quickly said, why don't we start up a solution that will support these local banks with managing their agents? I quickly connected because I remembered just before Stanbic Bank launched their agent network, they invited us at an event that was at the Serena. They looked at us as stakeholders who would advise them or guide them on how best they would launch agent banking. So we gave them our challenges. There were a couple of players who were invited. Pebuu was invited, Pebuu was invited, Easy Money at a time, Mcash, and many other players in Uganda. But I remember we were advocating to have these banks integrate with us. Because what meant at the time was, through a single integration, Stanbic or Centenary Bank would quickly access 2,400 agents across Uganda who are already being managed and supported by Pebuu through a single connection. Banks did not see it the way we saw it. So we told them, look, you're going to be faced by this huge challenge. You're going to have to manage these agents, you're going to trace them, you're going to have dormant accounts, etc. They thought it would be easy, but then now here were all these challenges. So that evening, I remember posing a question to Leonard, asking him, but Leonard, what unique value proposition are we going to give the bank? We slept over it. The following day we met again, and we had all these ideas. We put together a wonderful presentation. We shared it with Stanbic Bank, and after a week they called us. They're like, okay guys, what is this about? We presented it to them, and there was no better timing than that. Quickly, we connected with the bank. They approved the pilot. The pilot was amazing. We saved the bank a lot of money. We traced all their agents across the country. We supported them. We trained them. Transactional volumes went up. We made these agents love what they were doing.
Through Pebuu, banks have been able to expand the reach of their agent banking network. Agent banking network is bringing services or financial services closer to the people at the bottom of the pyramid. As a company, we have nationwide coverage in Uganda, providing on-ground support for agents and merchants of the bank to ensure that they operate in a secure and safe environment, provide training. We support them with utilities to make sure their operations can run smoothly. We have created new technology to enable last-mile delivery, distribution, and therefore make these services more accessible to people in the remote areas. We believe technology should be democratized. We believe people should use technology as a leverage for them to play into the new economy, transforming from the traditional economy, where, of course, you have to learn to do certain activities for you to be able to create value. But we've noticed that through our technology, innovation-driven practices and processes, we are able to create opportunities for people.
Through our technology in-house field picker, we used it to map those agents in the first stages of this course of work. Introduction of automobiles, obviously that's also technology, because at first, as we were supervising, we are doing it using public means, using other kind of reach outs, but a lot of bikes came on board and it eased our work.
Our last step towards sustainability in the introduction of electric motorcycle into our fleet. So guys, I want to show you something here. What we are trying to make sure that we are mindful about environment. Initially, we have been using this type of motorcycle. This one, we use fuel, that is petrol. When you look at this, it makes a lot of noise and air pollution. So we want to phase out this type of bike in our fleet. So I'm glad to tell you guys that now we are coming on this. So we want to phase out fuel because of air pollution. We come on this. When you look at this bike, it's so quiet. It's so quiet, very comfortable. And since I've told you before that we are now minding about the air pollution, so we have decided to introduce this EV. When you look at this bike, it is so good. Since you see these days we have climate change, it's because of air pollution. So now as Pebuu, we want to start this.
I don't want to forget the blessings we've got through our wonderful team. Pebuu prides in a big, solid, fine team in Uganda and in other parts of the world. But one thing we pride in is a strong culture as Pebuu. I've noticed that most of our staff, when they come to work with us, they don't want to leave. First and foremost, they enjoy what they're doing, they love it, they see where we are going, and they would want to tell this story with us.
What I love about Pebuu is the working culture. I love the vision of the company, which greatly impacts the lives of all Ugandans. The finance department has contributed to the sustainability of finances in Pebuu Limited through financial planning, budget control, cost effectiveness, and control of finances through internal control policies and financial policies in alignment with all the requirements and all the rules of the regulatory bodies.
Been with Pebuu coming to 2 years with a diverse team of talents spread nationwide. How we've managed to penetrate into the different regions with our talents, it's through the capacity building that we offer to the different team.
We have a dedicated team, especially our field team, that goes out to the regions, to the different communities to engage with the people, to train the people on ground, especially the bank agents on ground. So we are proud as a brand. We stand and we pat ourselves on the ground for the things that we have done within this short time.
There is no better thing that can happen to an entrepreneur or to a company than a good team that believes in the vision and the direction of the company.
Hello, my name is Elizabeth Atire. I'm the head of business support at Pebuu Africa. I've been working with Pebuu for the last 1.5 years, and I'm happy to do what I do. I lead a team of over 130 field supervisors who wake up every day to do agent supervision on behalf of our different clients. The role of these supervisors is to ensure that the agents are fully supported in form of having enough utilities. They check on the agent's performance and also assess their compliance with the expected bank standards.
When I talk about compliance, we look out to make sure that these agents are recording all their transactions into the register books. We look out to make sure that whenever someone makes a withdrawal, their agents are recording their NIN numbers, they're capturing their signatures, and also want to make sure that every time we reach out to these agents, they have the utilities which can enable them serve the local person out there.
Pebuu has helped me, like in case I need items like the receipts, the transaction books, I get them in time. I'll just call someone there and they'll tell me, okay, Fiona, I'm coming, and in 5 minutes they deliver them to me.
Pebuu banyambye mu business nti sikyagenda mu bank kukima receipt rolls kukimayo bitabo. Pebuu we bajja bandetera receipt rolls, bandetera ebitabo, era bwe mba ne challenge zonna ezikwatagana ku transactions mbagamba ensonga ne bagikolako.
Later we realized that, wait, this can actually be a job. So Stanbic went on to confirm a long-term contract. We walked a journey with them, and in between, Centenary Bank saw what we were doing. They called us, and we started walking the journey with them.
The bank contracted Pebuu Africa Limited in May 2024 to do the supervision and monitoring of our agents. Currently, we have a network above 8,000 agents, and majorly the role of Pebuu Africa Limited is to supervise these agents. To date, we've registered positive trends where we see that Pebuu reaches above 95% of our agents, which was initially not the case. We used to have 75 coverage, but the coming of Pebuu, we are always above 95%, which is a positive trend.
I can say like these guys are really concerned about what we do, and we don't have any problems. Other issues like network and all that, whenever we complain, they handle it very well. So I just want to say thank you so much and let them keep up the work so that we also keep up doing our work.
I have also spoken about the Pebuu Academy. This is a great initiative for skilling in the digital skills that people, especially the young generation, needs to transition from the traditional economy to the new digital economy.
Through the Pebuu Academy that we built to ensure that we have talent in there that is well skilled, well trained, to ensure that the future gap is covered. We offer also mentorship and coaching programs to these people that motivates them and encourage them to move further, to be productive in their work.
The expansion of our company. We have made 10 years, but we are able and we stand as proud to say that we have covered the whole nation in Uganda. You cannot go to any region in Uganda and you will not find a Pebuu person there.
For Africa, our story has been told, and right now we are focusing on some solutions that support communities, like the Pebuu hubs, which are piloting in Uganda, in Bale, Gulu, and Barara, which are on an acre of land each and create training opportunities for locals who are trained in business management, entrepreneurship skills, financial inclusion, and literacy.
We are scaling in all regions in Africa and outside Africa.
We're already in Rhode Island, USA, and as Pebuu Global, and we're looking at that as the headquarter, as we'll be taking on the entire world. We shall be fully operational by the end of 2025, which is this year, with a fully operational office. But our main focus will be technology for SMEs in terms of tracking, last mile delivery, business management, etc.
We go ahead to strengthen our partnerships, and we are expanding our partnerships in the telecom sector also, in the government, and also with the non-governmental organization.
Basically, we are doing all this to make sure that as we grow, even our communities grow. Because as we train these people, they become our breeding ground when we are hiring Pebuu agent managers, Pebuu merchant managers, Pebuu supervisors, etc. So we don't look at ourselves only, but we make sure that we impact the communities where we operate. That way, we leave a long-lasting impression. In 2023, we won a global award as one of the best fintechs in Rhode Island, USA. This was through the numerous products we had developed as Pebuu that had been piloted and developed for the local communities. Products like Pebuu Pay, products like Field Packer, products like Pebuu School. This was a wonderful innovation because it was bridging schools with the outside world through a cashless platform. Because, I mean, as we all know, in Africa, students are still going with physical pocket money to schools. So as Pebuu, we came up with a Pebuu card and a Pebuu platform where a parent would remotely send money to the child's Pebuu card in school through a Pebuu agent, and this child will use the Pebuu card from the canteen. So ideally, we placed the first debit card in the hands of a school-going child. That was amazing, and that was a game changer at a time. So through that, we got an award in the US, which opened enormous doors for us.
Be part of our success story, join our Pebuu Academy, look out for our regional training hubs where we empower SMEs into business continuity, risk management, support training, registration, proper record keeping, such that you learn something that we can use in the digital economy, and therefore you'll be able to support our vision for digital transformation of the country.
Today, our story is very interesting. Most of you don't know about it, but guess what? Pebuu employs over 1,000 direct and indirect employees. Pebuu recruits locally. We recruit people from their local communities. We train them wherever they are, and they help us support our agents in their vernacular communities, in their vernacular languages. And there is no more satisfaction I can get than seeing where we were, where we ended just before COVID and during COVID, and where we are today. Today, our turnovers are crazy. The impact we are creating is enormous. We are being contacted by big organizations for support. We are being contacted to sit on boards of organizations. Having Uganda's largest banks trust you, Pebuu, you don't take that lightly. A local brand that has been around, they trust you with their entire agent network to a level where you manage an agent portfolio of over 30,000 agents across the country. That is a wonderful achievement to us, and it is not something that has happened maybe 1 or 2 or 3 months, it's years. We've signed long-term contracts with these people. They are trusting us with their data. They are trusting us with their vital information. These are large banks. They can afford anyone, but they believe in what we are doing. They appreciate what we are doing. We are growing with them. We're supporting their core financial department, which is an agent network. The other day, I was having a chat with somebody from Centenary, and he told me that over 50% of their daily collections as a bank come from an agent network. What does that mean? It means Pebuu is adding a brick to Centenary Bank. The same story from Stanbic Bank. The same story from Housing Finance Bank. So for us, that's a wonderful achievement, and we're building so many products that are going to be taken on by these banks and many other banks in Uganda and across the continent.
Pebuu.